What is up, guys? Fi here, and today we're doing another commentary. We're actually going to be looking at an Ahri game. Now, I've already recorded this game twice, but unfortunately both times our replay crashed and I couldn't finish recording. So hopefully this time is going to be a little bit better, but my voice is actually kind of going. So sorry about that, but hopefully it's going to be good enough for you to understand me. Now, this game, I really chose this game because it shows exactly what the reason I put Ahri into my top 5. So if you watch my top 5 video, I said I wanted to do a commentary because Ahri is so strong right now, partly because of her playstyle and what she lets you do with the champion. And this kind of really shows that. So it shows the mid-game power spike, I guess, of building the DFG route and the pick potential, which kind of snowballs into leads, basically. Now this game, I'm actually against Syndra, and so because I'm against Syndra, I've actually picked up Exhaust. Now, that's kind of strange for an Ahri anyway, because you really want to go Ignite on Ahri because you want to be so aggressive. The reason I took Exhaust, which is kind of a scared way of using my summoners, I guess. The reason I've used it is because I can dive in, right? If I don't hit my charm, then she just QEs me and ultimates and I die. And the Exhaust is going to reduce her entire ultimate, so the damage. So it's kind of just really worthwhile taking Exhaust against Syndra. Even if you're playing an assassin, sometimes it's better just to ignore her burst with the Exhaust and then you can still kill her afterwards. Now you notice what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to push the wave to get lane kind of control. And I'm also just pushing the minions at the same time. But I want to pause this here because we can see Shaco invading, right? And I'm going to actually get there before Syndra, which ends up turning the fight in our favour. And it was kind of a misplay on the part of Syndra, unfortunately. So she does end up actually saving Shaco, which is good. She lands a really good stun here. The reason it was a misplay from Syndra is because she was actually positioning herself on the right of the lane. Now, that's not a bad thing just in general, because you do want to be kind of parallel to Ahri. You don't want to be standing next to your minions and you don't want to be standing next to your minions so that I can queue minions and push and harass you at the same time. Like, that's a really bad habit to be into playing against Ahri. So what she did was good. Like, she forced herself on the side, she forced me on the side as well, and I had to choose whether I want to harass or whether I want to push. But the problem was that because she positioned on the right instead of the left, it meant that I could actually get to the invade a lot quicker than she could. And there's nothing she could do to stop me. There was no way she could stun me. There was no way she could really kind of harass me or force me out of following because she was on the wrong side of the lane. So that's kind of a misplay on her part, and it's something that you probably won't pick up on either, but it's actually really important the way you position yourself in lane. Now right now I'm just pushing and trying to harass her as much as possible, but because I have my Exhaust, there's literally no way I can really kill her at this point. The other thing you'll notice is I'm actually kind of scared right now. Like, right there I could be flying, I could be using my charm and I could be using my Q to try and actually get onto her. But the reason I'm not is because of Shaco. So Shaco can get into my lane. I've got no wards right now. And with the Ignite as well, it means he's actually really deadly. So the reason I'm not trying to actively kill her right now is literally just because I don't want to risk throwing my advantage away. And Shaco could be here at any point. And if he is, I really want my charm to charm Shaco and just run away. So this is kind of a mistake. So you see here, I instantly Q the wave, right in front of Syndra as she's basing. And that's to push and base. But the thing that I screw up there is I don't wait long enough. So if you'll notice, as soon as I queued the wave, Syndra actually stopped her recall and is going to take this wave. Now that's not necessarily, you could argue that's not necessarily a misplay on my part. But the reason it is because you'll see what I do next time. So I've realized that she wants the minions and she doesn't want to lose them, but I really want to force her to lose a minion wave. So watch now, I'm not using my Q, I'm leading it back into the middle of the wave. I'm just auto-attacking like I could be kind of semi-freezing the lane. And then when I think that she's already almost based, I'm actually just going to use my Q and I'm going to start to push it. Now what this does is it means she misses the wave and she starts to she's going to miss at least one wave, and she can't really just sit there recalling and then change her mind halfway through. So right now I've gone for a very aggressive build. I've gone straight into a Rod and another Doran's. Now the reason I go for another Doran's is partly for the extra tankiness against Syndra, and the other reason is for the mana regen. If you're not going for a mana regen item, you really want to have double Doran's. And so like the two builds, right, you can either go with Themes, which is cooldown reduction, and it's also going to be some magic resist, which is pretty good against Syndra. One thing I'll point out here is that Kha'Zix coming to gank and she's just used her stun. So I'm at free reign to dive in whenever I like now. I do actually hit the charm, and I'm going to exhaust to try and get her to stay in. Unfortunately though, Kha'Zix actually kind of comes in a bit late, and so we don't actually get anything. There's no point me ulting in for the third stack either for the extra damage, because she's already exhausted me, so it's not going to do anything anyway, and just kind of puts me into danger. Now what I was saying before, oh, this is actually really important. So here, okay, right now Shaco is invading the Kha'Zix, right? They've just found each other and they're just fighting, and I've moved instantly. Now Shaco is very difficult to get onto, so I don't really want to chase him, and the thing I'm actually going to do is, if you watch, I'm going to sit and I'm going to wait for Syndra. This isn't warded, and I know it's not because I've been watching her. She's already half health from when we all in before. And I'm just going to charm her and Q. That's the easiest kill of my life right there. And that's why following people into the Fog of War is so dangerous. It's also another reason why I was saying in the video Ahri is so good. Because that can happen mid-game, right? You could be walking around your jungle and I'll just be sitting there waiting for you in a bush. I'm just going to charm you, DFG, and you're basically dead. So that's kind of a way of just me picking up a free kill there. Even though I could have gone to help Kha'Zix, it didn't actually impact him. I know he ended up dying, but that was more just because he recalled in a really bad spot. So, like, I could have chased Shaco, sure, but actually it's going to be more worthwhile me just waiting for my mid laner to hope that they come and they run, and they just come straight into me for a free kill. So right now I've got boots, I've got an amp tome, I'm building towards my DFG, but you see my position here, I'm just kind of positioning where she can't run directly into the lane again, so I get some more free tower damage, she misses the entire wave, and now I'm starting to get a bit of an advantage. So you see I ward my left side, that's actually a really bad ward, and you should never ward there, because Shaco can jump over walls, right? He's never going to come into that brush anyway. So it doesn't really give me any kind of vision. Like, where it should be is where I've been placing it for the others, like the rest of the game before. And that's over the wall, over this ledge here. Now the reason I'm going top right now, or I wanted to go top, was because bot lane has more wards. That's just kind of a fact of the game. Like, the support is going to be warding way more than the top and the mid. So I basically want to go top rather than bot, because it's harder for me to get there unseen. And Pantheon's also struggling. It was a good gank by Pantheon. Thankfully I hit my charm, and so it kind of led straight into the Pantheon damage and W. And I'm actually going to roam bot right now. And there you go, guys. I'm going to feature this game, and this is going to be the biggest fail ever. So I'm going to flash, and I'm going to try and charm Corki, which would have been a kill. And I missed the charm, which is obviously, I'm just, yeah, really good at this game. But so right here as well, we're actually going to call onto Dragon. So I ping it here because Dragon's really, really important, right? Something you guys probably don't realize is that in Diamond 1 and Challenger, let me pause this very quickly because I want to talk and do it. In Diamond 1 and Challenger, people take Dragons about 7 to 15 minutes, probably. That's the kind of average Dragon time right now. This is 13 minutes. When I play on my Smurf, in like Gold, and when I've like looked at the stats and stuff, people take dragons are like 20 minutes in gold. The first dragon is 20 minutes into the game. You could have 2 dragons by that point. So anyway, we're going to go for dragon because the owner's low, also the Corki's low, and Lucian's just 1v2ing there as you do. But this is where Syndra comes in, and so I'm just trying to kind of body block her. I'm going to land my charm here very quickly, and I'm going to exhaust immediately after. So you see, as soon as she launches her ultimate, and as soon as that charm kind of comes out, or she comes out of my charm, sorry, I'm going to exhaust straight away because that exhaust mitigates her entire combo, and I actually survived just because of the exhaust. I get a little bit greedy here, and this is actually the first mistake of the game that I really make that kind of snowballs a little bit back in their favor. I get really greedy for the pink, not thinking the owner's going to be there, and I dive in here. I use my ult to pick up the Syndra basically. If I'd picked up the Syndra there, I would have got that and I would have got out. But the reason I didn't is because my ult charges actually went to Leona. Like, I was closer to Leona than Syndra when I dived forward. I didn't really think about that in my head. I knew that I had the damage with my Q and my ultimate, but my ultimate went on to Leona. So I didn't actually pick up the kill. Syndra gets the shutdown on me. Even though she goes down, I practically just paid for her sword boots, which gives her a little bit of a power spike. So that was really done by me and unnecessary, but I do have a huge advantage. I have my DFG now. I can start to look to blow up pretty much anyone. And this is where I really want to kind of roam around the entire map. So I'm warding both sides. Right now you see I ward here properly. That's the proper ward where you should ward against most junglers, because anyone with a gap closer could just come over the wall. Pantheon's going to come in here. Syndra misses her flash. And I don't actually want ultimate here. And the reason I don't is possibly a mistake there because she is still worth gold. But the reason I didn't ult is because Ahri's ult is very important mid-game. Like, that is the entire way that you can fight. We're actually going to team fight here, and you see I'm going to go straight onto Jarvan. I DFG him, I miss my charm. I don't know how the hell I missed that, but I missed my charm. I'm going to go over the wall to stay safe, and then I'm going to come back over when my Q cooldown is back. That was just me waiting for cooldowns. The only person I can charm now is Leona. I'm going to charm Leona through the minions. Somehow that actually hits. And we're going to pick up a bunch of kills. So you see there when I was team fighting that I was really careful about using my last ultimate charge. So I used 2 charges. I dived right into Jarvan. I dived into the entire team practically. I dived in the first time. I dived to the side the second time, away from the rest of the team, but still damaging Jarvan. And the last charge I actually kept to go over the wall. Now the reason I didn't use that for damage on Jarvan as well is because when you don't have your last ultimate, or when you don't have your ultimate available, you're actually really vulnerable. So it's really risky using that last charge in a team fight if you're not going to pick up a kill with it. Now, in that case, I missed my charm. If I'd hit that charm with the damage amplification, I would have actually killed Jarvan. I would have one-shot him. And that was my intention. Jarvan's the most fed person on their team. I wanted to remove him from the fight. He's also probably the only person that could kill me in that team fight, so I wanted to just remove him completely. And unfortunately, as I said, I missed a charm, and so I didn't use my last ultimate to kind of dive in because it wouldn't have been enough anyway. Instead, I waited for my Q cooldown, which is obviously my main source of damage right now, and then I went back in with my ultimate over the wall to kind of mop up the fight. So I have a very, very aggressive build right now. And as I was saying with builds earlier, that was a long time ago. Sorry guys, I completely lost my train of thought there. So this is a very aggressive build. I'm going Deathfires into Deathcap. And this is entirely built around picking someone off. It's not built for what I'm about to... Well, it is built for what I'm about to do, but kind of in the wrong way. So right now, I'm going to actually press A so we can see this fight. But if you see, Syndra and Corki are right there, and I want to pick someone off. This build lets me one-shot someone. So see, I'm going to dive in here, he's going to step. I actually flash as well to try and get the charm immediately. But he manages to bout before I actually get that. I'm going to use my ultimate charge to dive in onto Corki again. I DFG him, but my Q isn't enough to kill him. And that's kind of a throw from me. So I used my ultimate there, and I flashed to get basically point blank to Corki. Like, some people will think, yeah, it's kind of a stupid play, but when you're in Diamond and any Elo really, you should expect someone to flash your charm. And so if I just ult forward and charm, that charm's travel this time is pretty low anyway, so I should expect him to flash it. But if I go in and then flash and then point blank charm him, he really shouldn't be able to dodge it. Unfortunately, he did dodge it. I kind of probably misplaced my charm a little bit, but that gives me basically the biggest chance of hitting it. Now this is going to be another team fight here, which is a little bit iffy, I guess, in a way. I'm going to get hit by the Leona and Flare there and a Rocket, which means I'm already kind of low. And I'm going to dive in here. And you see right here, I dive in because I want to kill the Corki and the Shaco. But look at Syndra. So watch Syndra. She's just going to Q and ult me. And I don't actually see the Syndra ult coming. And I've already exhausted the Corki because the Corki is doing more damage. Now, yes, Corki is doing more damage. But in that fight, he was actually running away. So that was kind of my fault there because he was running away. He wasn't really doing damage anyway. And if I had exhausted the Syndra, then she wouldn't have killed me. So I get one shot again by Syndra. That's the reason I took exhaust. I didn't use it properly. And my ham-ass build right now does not let me take that ultimate and live. So, okay, God, I'm never going to talk about this build, I swear. Like, okay, so, bit of a throw again. I managed to pick up the Jarvan with the charm and a Q. But I am going to go down. It's a really good Leona ultimate. And the Crucible there actually was too early. So she Crucibled me before the stun landed. And I was still stunned, which was unfortunate. But as I was saying with the build, so I could either go a team fight build, which is like Athene's, Deathcap, Void Staff. That's very good for cooldown reduction and very good for throwing my Q out permanently, basically. So I always throw my Q out. It's a very persistent damage build rather than a burst build. Whereas this build is all about burst. It's all about one-shotting one person. So this build is very good for picks, and we're actually getting to the point in the game where we've thrown it a little bit. Like, we're still a few thousand gold ahead, but Corki is very fed right now. And so this is the kind of point where I am actively now trying to get picks. Because before we could team fight, right? And we didn't need me to get the picks as such because well, we were really far ahead. But now we're not far ahead, and Lucian's not doing very well anymore. Pantheon hasn't been doing very well the entire game, though he has made some plays with his ultimate, which is good. I'm now just looking to get picks. I'm looking to set up wards. I'm looking for Lulu to ward as well. And I'm actually just going to... okay, so I forgot to get a trinket right here. I sold my warding trinket to try and get sweepers, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to stand in a bush and sweep so that I can wait for someone to face check me. But I actually kind of forgot, so that's a bit awkward. I'm going to dive straight onto Jarvan here, get the charm DFG and my ult. I'm going to pick up that kill. That was pretty easy for me to pick up that kill. And I'm going to dive in again with that. I'm going to dive in another go with my ultimate and pick up the kill onto Syndra. That's really ham, I guess, and kind of risky if Corki had turned onto me, but it's probably worth the risk there. So this is why this Ahri build is pretty good as well, because I obviously picked off the Jarvan there, one-shot him. If I didn't have my DFG, I don't think I would have killed him in that one rotation. Maybe with all my ultimate charges, but then I wouldn't have picked up the Syndra kill because I didn't have my ult left. So this is a very good build for isolating one person and killing them. That is kind of what I want to do right now. I want to isolate one person. I want to catch them in the jungle and kind of pick up kills and then get objectives from a 4v5. If you watch my top 5, you know I said that part of the reason Ahri is so good is because mid-game she can constantly make it a 4v5. And if you see right here, okay, so let's just pause this very quickly. I have two choices here. Shaco's top. I could just dive in mid lane right now. But if we actually look, if I just scroll up, we can see Jarvan on this ward, right? He's pretty squishy because he's built pretty much just pure damage. So if we roll this clip very quickly, you see I'm going to go over the wall. I'm going to let him clear the wraith. So that's a really important part as well, is that I'm actually going to let him just clear the race first so that he definitely can't block my charm, and then I'm going to go in for him and pick up the kill. Now this is what I was talking about with Ahri. So she's really good at this kind of stuff, really good at picking people off and getting the kills and then making it a 4v5. And that's why we've now called Pantheon here. Corki's a little bit fed though, so unfortunately I think we're just going to back off here, and this is where we actually make another mistake. Pantheon is very ham this game. Like, he's died 7 times, right? And that is just because he's really full ham sandwich, right? He just goes ham constantly. So this is a little bit of a fight here, but I missed my charm. Pantheon's coming in now, I believe, but we really should just base because we're all pretty low. Like, Kha'Zix is very squishy. He's good when we dive in, but he's not good for these kind of extended poke engages. And Lucian needs to base as well. Unfortunately, Lucian is doing wraiths right now, and he's going to die because obviously the team has wards. Like, that was a little bit silly, okay? So we know they're going to take Dragon. Right now we should all just be basing. Unfortunately, what we do instead is pretty dumb. So let me just speed this up. We push mid, which is fine. We get the wave, but they're obviously taking Dragon. We know that. Pantheon wanted to ult Syndra, and now he's just like recalling in the middle of the lane. I'm stupid. This is my own fault. I tried to DFG and kill the Corki. I would have actually killed him, but he Valkyrie to the side to dodge my return damage on my Q, which was very well played by Corki because he would have died without that. So that was a misplay by me. I shouldn't have gone in. I should have just let Pantheon die. Even if I got the Corki, I probably would have been dead anyway. So 2 for 1 is not worth. Should have just been a 1 for 0. But that was well played by Corki. Now this is kind of where we're throwing a little bit. But this next point is what I really want to highlight the entire time about Ahri. I'm going to speed this up because we've talked about Ahri a lot, but this is kind of really where it gets to the point. Okay, so we're going to team fight right now. I'm just going to basically one-shot this Jarvan. This kite potential on Ahri is another reason why she's so good at carrying. Like, I'm just constantly kiting this guy back because there's nothing he can do. And this is just Ahri. Like, I'm not doing anything amazing, right? That isn't me mechanically outplaying Jarvan. This is just Ahri being a dumbass champ who can have an entire kit that can go like a whole screen ahead and can have a huge amount of damage. I mean, Jarvan is very fed this game. Yeah, he's built an Iceborne Gauntlet, which, guys, I do never ever recommend that, but obviously it kind of works because he's pretty fed this game. But yeah, I can just kite Jarvan like that, and I can basically just one-shot him with 2 items, which is really, really dumb. So this is one of the reasons why Ahri is so strong. The pick potential that we got mid-game of getting a charm on someone and blowing them up immediately. And that's really what I wanted to showcase in this commentary. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned a few things about Ahri. And especially if you don't take anything else from this game, just take that in the mid-game, if you're going a ham build, you really just want to ult in, ward, and pick people off with your charms. But that's all for today, so I will catch you in our next video.